It's the 3rd of May and I don't know what to read. It's time for a TBR game video. Hi everyone and welcome back to May's edition of TBR TIC TAC TOE. So if you don't know what this game is, this is my kind of way of deciding my TBR for the month. I have a 3x3 grid where I pick 9 prompts to fill that grid based on a kind of spin the wheel game. I then have to read at least 3 in a row of books that fit that prompt in order to win. So last month this was my TBR and this is what I read. So I actually completed it. I am so happy because if you've watched any previous videos, you know last month I failed and had to unhaul a book, but I don't have to do that this month, which is great. So 2 out of 3 ain't bad. So let's see what prompts the wheel decides to pick today. So for spin number 1, what are we gonna get? A cover you love. Oh, that's a nice one. I don't think I've had that prompt before. I am a cover buyer. I buy books based on their cover a lot, so hopefully we've got some options there. So for my first prompt, cover I love, I have picked Threads of Life, which is a non-fiction, a history of the world through the eye of a needle. Because look at this cover. I couldn't not pick it. It's honestly the most gorgeous cover I think I've ever seen. I just love the colours and the detail, it's just beautiful. So this is a non-fiction that I actually had started. I have no idea how far through I got when I started it a few months ago because I didn't put a bookmark in it. So that's helpful. But I can't imagine I was any more than like 80 to 100 pages through it, and it's just one that I just put down. I have no real reason for it. I think I just kind of had other books that I was more excited for, so it kind of got put on the back burner. But I would like to get back to it. It is basically a book about textiles, art, sewing, throughout time. Now that's not really a topic that I necessarily have much passion for. I'm not necessarily a creative kind of person, but I do think it sounds really interesting, and it's something I'd love to read more about and know more about. So yeah, I just love any book that kind of takes you through history. So yes, this is hopefully one I can finish this month and get off my TBR. Let's go for spin number 2. What are we gonna get? Ooh, a book you received as a gift. That's lovely. I've got a few of them in my backlog, so that's a good prompt to pick. So for a gift, I've picked Apples Never Fall by Liane Moriarty, which I actually got last Christmas from my grandma, bless her. She picked this book out for me, so it's about time I get round to it. I haven't actually read any Liane Moriarty. All I really know is it's kind of a domestic thriller. Someone goes missing, the mother goes missing, and I'm sure lots of drama ensues. It's quite a thick one, it's quite a big thriller, almost like 450 odd pages, but I'm excited to hopefully get to this one. Like I say, I've not read anything by this author, but I've heard great things, and I feel like she's a very well-loved thriller crime author. So yeah, hopefully I can get to this one. Right, to complete the top row, here we go. What is it going to be? Oh, a book you received as a gift again. Okay, I'm going to respin that one. I'm not cheating, I just don't want 2 of the same prompt. A reread! Okay, I had that last month, didn't actually complete it, so let's try again this month with a reread. So I have picked The Wolf Den by Elodie Harper for my reread. The reason for this is I've got the sequel, The House with the Golden Door, which was actually on an episode of TBR TIC TAC TOE a couple of months ago actually, and I tried to read it but I just had no idea what was going on. I read The Wolf Den a few years ago now, and really enjoyed it. From what I remember, it was very impactful and very beautiful and moving, but I can't remember. I can remember bits but not enough to read the sequel and kind of know what's going on. I think you're very much you just pick up where you left off in the sequel. It's not one that kind of recaps from what I read. So I think if I can reread this one, hopefully I can then read the sequel in a bit quicker succession this time and not leave it some years. But yeah, this just follows Amara. It's from the Roman ages in Pompey's, who works in Pompey's brothel. And it's kind of about the women that work there and kind of trying to get freedom and everything that goes along with that. So it was deeply moving, but yes, very impactful, but definitely one I want to read the sequel of because I really did love this book, but just couldn't get into it. So hopefully by rereading it, I can pick up the sequel. So that's the top line completed. Let's go for row number 2, the first one. What's it gonna be? A physical book. Nice and straightforward. So another physical book on my TBR this month. I've picked Josh and Hazel's Guide to Not Dating by Christina Lauren. I just thought after all them books, I'm going to want a romance up in here. And I've had this one for a few months and just haven't got to it yet. It's nice and short, and I've heard great things about this one. So I know Christina Lauren has a lot of books out, but I've read a few but not too many, so I'd like to kind of dip my toe back into their collection. And this seems like a classic one to start with. It seems like a firm favourite among people that have read her books. So yeah, Josh and Hazel's Guide to Not Dating. This is kind of a friends to lovers, I think. So yeah, looking forward to reading that one. Okay, the middle square, the most important one on the grid. What have we got? A romance. Amazing. I'm in my romance era. I've got Kindle Unlimited, so I'm reading a lot of romances at the moment, so I feel confident that I'm going to complete this box. So for the middle category, the most important one on the grid, I've got romance. I've picked Culty by Mariana Sabetta, who is the author of a range of books. A lot of them, from what I can see, are kind of like sport romances, which I love sport, I love romances. Let's try them together. I haven't read too many sport romances, but yeah, I'm looking forward to getting to this one. It's on Kindle Unlimited, so I am ticking off another Kindle Unlimited book as well. I'm trying to incorporate them more into my TBRs, so I have an excuse to keep paying for it. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to starting this one. And yeah, I have read one of her other books before. I can't remember what it's called now, but it was kind of following an ice skater. I did really enjoy that book, so hopefully I enjoy Culty the same, if not more. I believe this one's about a female footballer and her coach, potentially. So yeah. Okay, spin at number 6. What do we have? Book you received as a gift again. Oh, right, I'm going to remove that because I don't think I can get it for the 4th time in a row. Okay, we're going to re-spin roll number 6. It's not very randomised, is it? Oh, amazing! Newest book on your TBR. That's great. For the newest book on my TBR, I have picked another Kindle book. It is Days at the Morisaki Bookshop. So I kind of bought this along with a few others on the same day when the Kindle 99p deals dropped last month, I believe. Maybe the month before, I'm not sure. But yeah, this is one I wanted to read for a long time. I love Japanese translated fiction. So yeah, happy to have another one off my list to read, and hopefully I really enjoy it. I think this one's really short as well, so that is a bonus. Right, first one for the last row. A 2024 new release. I know exactly which one I'm picking for this. So for a 2024 new release, probably the most exciting book on my TBR, and one I definitely wanted to make sure I got in, is The Household by Stacey Halls. Now, I've read all of Stacey Halls' other books and devoured them all. I love them all. They're all 4 and 5 stars for me. And I've been waiting so patiently for her to bring out a new book, and it's finally here. I had to get it. So this one, I'm not gonna lie, I haven't read too much about it. I have just kind of assumed I will love it and bought it nonetheless. It's set in London in 1847, and I guess it's about a household. I don't know. I don't really want to know too much going in, if I'm honest. Set against Charles Dickens' home for fallen women and inspired by real figures from history, it is Stacey Hall's most ambitious and captivating novel yet. Amazing. Her books always kind of, as it says, are inspired by real events in history or real people in history, and it sounds like this is going to be in the same vein, which is great. This is the book I'm most excited to read, and it is one of my most anticipated books of this year, so I'm so excited to have my hands on it, and I will definitely be reading that this month. Penultimate spin. Let's end on a high. A short book, 300 pages or less. Amazing. So for my last physical book, I have picked Death on the Cherwell for a book under 300 pages. It is 285 pages. I actually bought this back when I lived in Oxford for uni, because it was set on the River Cherwell, and Oxford is on the River Cherwell, and I just thought I couldn't pass it up. It is one of the British Library crime classics. Again, I don't really know too much what it's about, but Mavis Dorrell Hay was a novelist in the golden age of British crime, so I'm expecting kind of Agatha Christie-esque style, but it might be completely different, I don't know. I don't think I've ever read what this book's about, but we're seeing drowned bodies and pranks that have got out of hand. I'm interested. So yeah, super looking forward to having this one. Like I say, I bought this when I was at university, which was like 4 years ago now, so it's about time I got to it. And then finally, the last roll, fingers crossed for a good prompt. A book with 2 words in the title. Amazing! For my final book, I have picked another Kindle book and another Kindle Unlimited book. I picked Twisted Hate for my book with 2 words in the title. This is part of the Twisted series. It's the 3rd and I believe final one. Correct me if I'm wrong. So yeah, I've been reading this series in quite quick succession for me anyway, and it'll be nice to have this one completed if it is the last in the series. I'm sure it is. This is like an enemies to lovers book, which is one of my favourite tropes when it's done well, so fingers crossed this one is. So this is my final stack of physical books that are on my TBR this month. This is the most physical books I've had on my TBR. I've only got 3 Kindle books, which is quite rare for me, so we'll see how we go, but I'm really excited for all of these, if I'm honest. There's a real mix of books, and we're having a very physical book heavy month this month, but that's fine. It's good to get some physical space on my TBR shelf. But yeah, let me know which books you have read and loved, which ones I should start with. I'm most excited for The Household by Stacey Hall, I can't lie. Like I say, one of my most anticipated books. So thank you so much for watching. Come back next month, I guess, to see how I do. I will see you later. Bye!